to use that prefix, humble. How we know is we say, go and tell on the yard. Go and tell your people in the yard. Because growing up, many of us didn't and never had a room. We say, go and tell the yard, you know, because when you come to what we call yard, then room, right? 10 people in a room. Not today. I will hear my daughters argue with one another. Get out of my room. Get out of my room. I'm like, because you have one room to yourself, you don't even pay house rent, and you're here saying, get out of my room. Anyway, so how are we doing, everyone? This evening, Mazes Okay is speaking to you live and direct, so you can also be part of this program if you so wish. This evening, I'm going to look at something. At the same time, we can also discuss other things. If there is anything that bothers you, if there is anything that bothers you, you know, you are free to bring it up. Use the comment section. Request you to join me if you're in an environment that is well lit. We can have this conversation, because I believe that conversation rules the world, you know. So, having said that, people, I saw a video. Before we go ahead, please, everyone, may I know where you're watching me from? I know many of you are gathering already, but may I know where you're watching me from? May I know where you're watching me from? Are you watching me from where? Where are you watching me from? Okay, I can see. Wow, wow, wow. Some of you already. Why is it that many of you are in the diaspora? Not maybe because those of us, those at home, do not have electricity and do not have what it takes to watch live. So, on that one, I would say once more, welcome to this evening conversation. My name is still Mazia Zokan. This is Njenje Media TV. If you haven't subscribed to this platform, please kindly do. If you have, share with others, inform others. You know, I am, as I always tell people, I am proudly dotted one. I'm on your dot, unapologetically. So that's what it is. So I have Prosper Uyi. Prosper is watching from Sweden. Prosper, you're welcome to Njenje Media TV. And I have Eagle King. Eagle King is watching from Chicago. Charles. Orianegbana is watching from the city of South Africa, or the country of South Africa, from the mother continent. You see, that is what we know Njenje Media for. People, hold on, give me a moment before my lighting goes up. So sorry about that. I think the lighting in the studio is about, it's doing some magic, but it doesn't matter, people. So here we are. Um, I say I watched this video and I started asking myself, you know, and I think in this case, I will try as much as possible in the State of the Nation conversation to see if I can get the man in question, that is Rocha Sanayo Okorocha. I want to have a one on one conversation with him. Let me actually understand the depth of what he said. But before, without wasting much of our time, let me say to us and let me share what he said in this video. Now, in this video you're about to watch, I believe many of you must have watched it. He said that Imo State owes him 8 billion. You know what it means? 8 billion. Without going much further into the details of that, let me bring him. Let's say I could
36 states
my
and the
own
FCT and as the
interjection.
Nigeria's president. The big question is, what can you lay your hands on that you did that is significant, that makes you deserving of wanting to be Nigeria's president?
Okay, Shehu, when you ask so many questions, it tends to make us forget some. But the first answer I want to give you is, those who say I was broke, they are liars. That's a fabricated fallacy. Shegun, I think if you talk about Nigerians blessed by God, I raise my hand to say I'm one of them. I don't know. Sometimes it makes me want to sound boisterous, and that is not good for me. I don't like doing that. But recently, I'm beginning to talk to clarify issues. One, I want to say to you that I was Rochas before I became governor. In fact, governor made me poorer. If you could go to conduct bureau before I become governor, if my real estate alone in Abuja here, I'm sure you can find 1, 2, 3, 4 people who can count on it. But let me say something that might shock you. I had Rochas Foundation schools, so many of them, over at that time before I became governor, over 18,000. And I know that to feed these children and educate them, it doesn't cost anything less than 500 naira a day. Calculate that, Sheon. And know whether there's any day I wake up that 10 million, 15 million does not go out of my pocket. Is it Imo State government? How much is the Imo State government money? Imo State is really owing me. Let me say it here because I never collected my security vote. I'm supposed to collect from Imo State now 8 billion naira if I have to make claims.
Now, at this point, I am like, what is it that I am missing? What is it that I am not understanding? That he said that Imo State owes him 8 billion in security vote. I'm like, are security votes meant to be pocketed by those whom we have elected or selected, as it could be in some cases? Is this money meant to be pocketed by them just like that? In the 8 years, it meant he governed Imo State 8 years. Every year he is entitled to 1 billion naira as security vote. That's what it meant. Now he's not even telling us what he inadvertently has done with this money, but he's telling us that Imo State owes him. I don't know. Sometimes not that I'm just wanting to pick hole in it, but I hear something like this, I get confused. I'm like, am I living in a different planet? How is it that what is given to you for a people is suddenly becoming something you now say you are doing people a favor? Please, anyone who is not willing to be held accountable, please stop contesting for office. I mean, I don't know how
For
else to
security
say
votes
it.
I did not collect. I fed myself throughout in government house when I was there. I used my personal cars. For me to introduce free education in Imo State. And you're asking me what can I prove that I've achieved? Let me say again, outside Mbakwe, may he soul rest in peace. There's no governor, only government till death who can measure up what I've done in that Imo State, not even up to 20% of what I've done. Now, I'm the only first governor to introduce the free education.
Is it there is no other governor after Sam Bakwe who can, well, Imo people. Now your hand did it.
From primary to university in Imo State. Sheung, I had more than 2,000 projects. I opened up for Owerri. It's there for everybody to say. The best cargo airport, the best hospital.
Okay, stop. If I do nothing, I know every airport in the southeast in and out. If what we have in Owerri is something to boast of, I would rather invite Abia State Governor to basically reply this. He can look at you with open eyes and say, we need an airport. And I can say, Imo needs an airport. When our father, the late day Sam Mbakwe, built that airport, remember then, there was nothing like Anambra, there was nothing like Imo. Obviously, there were states, but that was when Teresa Honora, the legend or the heroine, sang the song Anambra n'Imo bụ ụmụnne ana m ekene udo dịrị anyị dịkwara unu karịrịnụ. When you understand the meaning of that song was one of the things that propelled that sometimes the monies given to us in schools for ice cream, when we get to our nature that time, there are people selling tickets like raffle tickets, you buy towards Imo Airport. for the memories of late day Sam back where, some of us could argue, okay, let's keep the airport. But for argument's sake, and for if we want to talk about development, I would say that the Imo airport has overlived its usefulness. We should be talking about a better airport. Ah, a man built an airport from ground up, and only you merely renovated an airport, then we cannot hear words again. Come on, people, come on. This
are built, the best police headquarters, the best court place, the best house of assembly, the best government house. All this was done by Rochas Okorocha. And I want to ask, one thing with you people, the journalists, investigative journalism is very poor.
is a lie. It's a lie. I disagree and I take an exception. Someone like me, I go, I see, I report, and people will be shouting, no, it's not. Why is he slanting it? Why is he not doing this? Why is he not doing the other one? Because most times, if I show people what I saw from Olu to Akokwa, from Olu to Akokwa in Imo State, and Jesus Christ, and I sorry, but I will struggle to believe that anyone has actually governed that state, that space in recent time, without due respect.
Nigeria. Imo is 45 minutes away from me. Can you drive there? And last time.
Don't challenge me on that one. I could do a live stream. But most times you want to do the live stream driving on that road. There is no network. So what are you going to do? Well, so the things are, come on.
You had Otudoju, who at least went there, how he was talking about the achievement of Rochas Okorocha. Shegun, you should go there. If you go.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If you want to know how development happens, go to Ebonyi State. How many years is it that you left now? 3 years. I bet you that when Dave Omahi leaves, 20 years later, the route that he's done in Ebonyi is not something you were saying, oh, it is 3 years and this, that. 20 years later, I bet you. The routes, the Achina Umuchu Ezinefite road done by Ngige partly and completed by Pitobi. That road now was done in 2006. Do the calculation. It's over 15 years old. Yet that road is still standing. But here we are, less than 3 years, and we already going, having an argument.
You will never in your life ask this question, and you insult the hell of those who said this. It's political permutation to see whether this Rocha's ambition for 2023 can be rubbish. But I tell you what, they can't rubbish it. Because the facts are there to.
So let me pick you up on that, Senator. If you're talking about your achievement in Imo State, let me pick you up and perhaps get you to know some of the feelings from your state. I'm not sure when was the last time you also visited, but the quality of the roads in Imo State, and I'm not.
Sheung, sorry, Sheung is a very wicked somebody. He just shut him down now with the quality of the roads. The quality of the roads within 3 years.
Sure, if it's 4 years yet since you left. What can you say about those some of the roads that are giving way now? About some of those who have criticized some of the quality of the infrastructure, the quality of the roads were constructed during your time?
Sheung, again, you see, that's why I say, stop hearing this hearsay. I was in Imo State December. Go and show me one of my road that has gone bad. Potholes are allowed for roads.
Rochas, come on. You want me to show you some of your road that has gone bad? Come on. Most of this road went bad the week you left. One of them was constructed without the bridge was constructed without any road. That was when Ihedioha took over. We saw these roads. They were only collapsing already. And
even if it's built by Julius Berger. And it's duty incumbent on the sitting governor to resurface them. I opened up the entire 4-lane roads, so I changed them to 8 lanes in Owerri. I opened more roads in Owerri than any government in history has opened. I left 48.3 billion naira behind, and I never owe any bank for that period of 8 years. Sheung, let me tell you, I'm just telling you about International Cargo Airport. I'm telling you about Traditional Ruler Council. I'm telling you about International Conference Center. I'm telling you about so many projects, more than 2,000 projects, and I'm beating my chest that if they prove that any governor have done more than I've done in Imo State, I resign from contesting President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. to shock you. So these are small, very funny and dirty claims that doesn't make sense. So can I be honest with you, Sheung, from today onwards, I advise you stop listening to those gossips. And if you want to go to the place, go and find the facts yourself and see what Rochas Okorocha have done. I built 6 universities. I built 7 general hospitals. Some of them are functional. They will also ask you, why they functional? I was seen 100 years to come. What I built in Imo State, the government of Imo State now cannot build it in 100 years at the speed they're going. So it's about vision.
I think I've had enough. Honestly, I think I've had enough. When I sit down here, if Imo State is not a state that I've been to, and I sit down here listening to this, I would ask myself, wow, maybe if I get into this state, it will be like Dubai. If what he's saying, if there is any iota of, if there is any way we can take this serious to say that what he has done, according to what he's saying, that no government will be able to do that in 100 years, what he did in 80 years. As Fela would say, I don't want to open book for you, sir. I don't want to open book. I don't want to open book. Because here on Njenje Media, we published, roads, Imo State. It's just like, it's just like one day one wakes up and maybe Ibazu will be making such argument now. And I'm like, if all these roads were done in Imo State, what is the current governor now also doing? Why are they then doing this road? Honestly, I don't want to begin to go back 3 years ago to start looking for those roads we published when between the transition time and when Ihedioha took over. I don't want to go ahead and begin to look into that. But hey, what do I know? And beside that, the former governor also went ahead and, obviously he has declared, for the governorship of Imo State. Not only that he has declared, he also went to see the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. And when he saw Buhari, he had the following to say. Come on.
Office that I intend to handle after 2023. And again, that I use the opportunity to discuss issues relating to our party, especially how the party was formed. President Muhammad Buhari, then former head of state, led the CPC into the merger of what became today APC, followed by Asuwaju Ahmed Tinubu, who led the ACN, and myself, Rochas Okorocha, who led the APGA, and other leaders of NPP. This is the 4 legs upon which the party today called APC is standing. I use the opportunity to remind Mr. President of how it all started and for us to keep the history of this party alive. I also made him to understand that in the next coming convention, these 4 pillars should be carried along in all our decisions. For without these 4 pillars, there wouldn't have been anything called the APC today and the victory that followed after. I also use the opportunity to intimate Mr. President of what is going on between me and economic and financial crime, the EFCC, and the harassment and intimidation that I'm getting from the EFCC literally on a daily basis. And to inform him that I have court judgment and 2 court orders, 3 different judgments at different forums, which stops the EFCC from harassing, intimidating, and all that.
I don't know, but I think that's where I sometimes have, most times have issue with the law. Remember, there was a ex parte order, I believe, under when Ibori was, being hunted. There were court judgment, there were court orders saying, do not touch Ibori, do not, in as much as I agree with Okorocha anyway, that some of these things could be linked to the 2023 presidential election. As someone said, I can't remember who said it. If you want to, if you want Nigerians to tell you the person who your grandmom's boyfriend before he married your granddad contest for Nigerian presidency, they will dig all dirt out in order to get at you. But having said that, I think that when EFCC calls someone and when EFCC wants something done, of course, it should, it just as the system is a total mess. If EFCC actually, since he left office in 2019, up to now, EFCC has not really made any tangible move. It's very hard for people now, it's very hard for us to take EFCC serious. That does not mean, if he has any case to answer, that EFCC should not go after him and get him to answer those cases. But EFCC is also making it very hard for the citizens to have any iota of confidence. Because, listen, people, will it take forever to make such investigations? If someone has, been found guilty of commingling monies meant for development and money meant for a state, why is it impossible for EFCC to do the needful within time? That is what gives room for him to be making such cases now. That is why he can now go to the president, and which is also absurd. The president is the executive. EFCC has nothing to do. I mean, it should be an independent body, so which has virtually nothing to do with the president. So is he then seeking the president to intervene and say, EFCC, stop doing their
EFCC
job?
have refused to obey the law. And so I have to inform Mr. President that EFCC should be meant to obey the law that established them. And without the law, there would have been an EFCC. And the desperation with which they go about any affair that concerns me should stop. And I reminded Mr. President that I recall that some times ago, the EFCC had claimed that they recovered the sum of 5.9 billion from my account, which the court found out to be untrue. In other words, they were biased and they prejudged me.
You see?
On that basis, the court ruled and ordered that they should not any further more interrogate and harass me. This has also not been obeyed. The court ordered the EFCC to release my international passport. The EFCC have refused to obey. The court gave damages to me for the sum of 500 million naira for EFCC to pay. EFCC have not paid that. Rather than doing that, on the day of my declaration, EFCC went on the press to announce that I'm being prosecuted for some criminal charges of 2.9 billion and no more than 5.9 billion. So I said, as the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, and one that stands on the side of law, that he should bring this attention to the EFCC. And despite the effort by the Office of Attorney General to make EFCC reasons and obey court judgment to release my travel documents and stop the harassment, EFCC have refused. So I think that's some kind of desperation on the side of EFCC. And I don't know who might be causing this, but it is appropriate that I do let them know of the injustice that is going on with me as regards the EFCC. I also discussed on the need to strengthen our party, the APC.
Now, you listen to this and you ask yourself, it boils down to the same thing I said before, that EFCC somewhat makes themselves unlikable. How could it be that you have prosecuted a case for 3 good years? You waited. The day the person declares for the presidency, you come out with a new charge. And you want the people to believe that you're actually doing your work. Why did you wait up to this point? In as much as that there is no timeline attached to crime and when criminal offenses are called. However, when you look at when these quote unquote purported crimes were committed, that is something, let's say now it's about 11, between 3 years to 11 years ago. He came to office in 2011, is it? 2011, yeah. So if he came into office in 2011, for Christ's sake, 2007, for crying out loud, EFCC. EFCC una the fall hand or una the fall hand. Anyway, that is on the corruption side. Now, it might interest you to know that Nigerian government have said that they've discovered those who are behind Boko Haram, those who make, who are behind Boko Haram and, making it to be an issue. So let's quickly look at what our my mind is playing me caro. I nearly said our lying machine. Thank God I didn't say our lying machine. You know what our what what Alhaji Liar Mohammed said, not Alhaji Liar Al-Haji. Come on, why? What a tongue twisting name, Al-Haji Lai Mohammed.
To check terrorism financing in Nigeria, the information minister says the federal government deployed a plethora of tools to deal with the issue of corruption and money laundering. According to him, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit discovered 424 associates and supporters of terrorism financiers and the involvement of about 123 companies and 33 bureaux de change. However, none of the names were disclosed. And while reeling out the administration's achievement in the anti-corruption war, the government says the administration's policy flank of fighting corruption is unwavering and on course. He says policies such as the singular treasury account, amongst others, is aiding in the fight against corruption.
The TSA system has now been implemented in more than 90% of all federal MDs, and this has resulted in the consolidation of more than 17,000 bank accounts previously spread across commercial banks in the country. And this has also resulted in a monthly savings of an average of 4 million naira in bank charges.
The achievement of the anti-graft agencies were also highlighted.
In 2021 alone, the FCC secured a total of 2,220 convictions. That represents a 127% increase in the number of convictions, which was 376 recorded in 2020, and a far cry from the 195 convictions secured in 2016, the 189 in 2017, and the 300 convictions in 2018, and the 1,280 recorded in 2019. The ICPC has played a pivotal role in bringing about structural changes in the operations of the government, especially regarding improvements in MDA's budget utilization, better value for money, improved project completion, sound delivery, and higher level of anti-corruption awareness.
And despite the achievements of the administration, Nigeria dropped in the 2021 Corruption Perception Index, down 5 places to 154 out of 180 countries. However, the minister says the government does not believe in the index.
We are not fighting corruption to impress anybody. G-I-O-C-I-O-Z. Look, Amaka, please tell me what country. Tell me what organization why you don't have systemic corruption. Which two?
You see, you see the thing with this government in particular. Sorry, the thing with this government in particular is that when it suits them, they will use that corruption index. Remember, they were the people vuvuzelaing all the corruption index under Goodluck Jonathan. Suddenly, the same people publishes the same report. Suddenly, they have issues with it.
Put money there to find corruption.
Corruption in Nigeria has been described as a constant phenomenon, with a study released in 2012 estimating that the country had lost over $400 billion to corruption since independence. Experts say for anti-corruption fights to be effective, there is a need for preventive reforms, and corruption will continue to thrive in the country.
Anyway, the bottom line here is the government says they have uncovered those behind the sponsorship of Boko Haram. But I think that doesn't hold water. You know why I said that doesn't hold water? It's very simple. The government itself, recall that there was a time, I think early last year, the United Arab Emirates arrested some individuals who are Nigerian and done the initial preliminary investigations, handed over to Nigeria to continue the investigations and prosecute the individuals in question. These are Nigerian citizens. Some of them, as said in this report, are proprietors of Brodeshon. However, more than 1 year later, not a single name is known to the public. Maybe it's known to the government, we don't know. Recall that when the government took over in 2015, suddenly we were told that through body language that the refineries started working. We were told that through body language that the airlines will fly, through body language that the fuel will drop, through body language that there were Nigerians who were so fantastically corrupt, but they were returning money because we were going to deal with them. We're going to pound them like we pounded yam. Okokobioko. Now, 7 years later, I bet you, if at all people returned money in 2015, I tell you they will be regretting it now. Why did they do that? Because they found out that that thing where they inside Shokoto isn't actually the same thing as what they expect to be in Sokoto. Am I? Well, I don't know, okay, but that is what I think.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you?
Sorry, you only tell me that 2 times and I will know. Don't tell me again. But the end of at the end of the day, what it means is that the government has failed, 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 and failed. Therefore, it becomes almost impossible. It becomes almost like my good brother will say, future tense, part participle, to even believe the government.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go me. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. Say tickle. One nana so you ba na ebudi. On a make.
So you can see that Nigeria is yesterday was past. Everything is probably, we are in the tickle section now. That we have been tickled. We are past party and we've been tickled. It's indeed heartbreaking to always think about these things. And now the government has issue with the corruption index. Corruption index was not done by Nigeria. They didn't start doing it because of Nigeria. But even yesterday, there was a report that came out. And that report clearly said that 8% of Nigerians are 8% of Nigerians are happy with country's state of affairs under President Muhammadu Buhari. 8%. Please subtract 8 from 100. And then I'll ask, where is 92% of Nigerians? Where is 92% of Nigerians? I know tomorrow, if you get the same government now, they would actually have issues with this report. If you go to Premium Times published this report, and this report clearly, stated that only 8% of Nigerians, 8% of fellow citizens are happy with the government. I mean, it is done everywhere in the world. Even in America today, they will tell you how many percent of the percentage of Americans who are happy with Joe Biden. It was done. I mean, it's always something that is being done every single time. So why is it that when it comes to Nigeria, when you talk about the percentage of people who are not happy, the next thing you will hear from those who are ill informed, all you hear is, it is hate. Oh, it is hate. I say, now what? Why must everything be anchored on hate? Can someone no longer disagree and say, this is it? This is what people are saying, right? Now look at this report. Only 1 in 10 Nigerian, 8%, are happy with the current state of affairs in Nigeria under President Muhammadu Buhari. A new survey has found out. A new survey has found out. The result of the survey published Wednesday showed that as of January this year, about 78% of the citizens were not happy with the country's state of affairs, with almost half that is about 37% again, saying they felt extremely sad about the state of the country. And majority of the people, are basically, why they are feeling that sad is anchored and linked to poverty and insecurity. The remaining 14% of the citizens said they were indifferent to the state of affairs of the country. Again, that is an API, an independent research think tank, said their survey was conducted to elicit citizens' perception and attitude on topical issues and trends covering a portfolio of social, economic, political, governance, public life issues. The project, AP added, is part of a series of monthly nationwide public opinion poll aimed at bridging the gap in primary data by capturing public opinion and giving citizens an opportunity to lend their voice to public policy discourse, practice, and advocacy. People, now, why are Nigerians not happy? About 4% in 10 respondents, 38% mentioned, highlighted insecurity, as I've said before, as the biggest challenge here. So you look at it, inability to meet their basic needs, 34% of Nigerians. Heightened insecurity, 38% of Nigerians. Unemployment, 20% of Nigerians. Electricity blackout, not even electricity bill, blackout. Lack of people are unemployed, inability to meet their basic needs. So talking about infrastructure, those ones are luxury, luxury. That's what those ones are. They haven't gotten the basic. I mean, when you talk about basic, you talk about your shelter. Those of you who did elementary economics, you can go back to the the Maslow pyramid, and you begin to have an idea what the basic need of the people are. It is indeed sad that what we see in Nigeria is heartbreaking. A people with high hopes, suddenly everything just, as Idris would sing, everything jaga jaga, poor man they suffer suffer. Yeah. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I just, sometimes you just basically look, read some of these things. You think what is actually happening. There is no way you can happiness more. In a country where you do not have the basic things of life, things that others take for granted, you do not have them. There is no way. The Gandusa. We need the power in order to survive. But I can guarantee and I can tell every one of us, hold on, the end is near. In a couple of months, the agony probably be over. Then it is left for the people to shine their eye and not go to another old people's home and drag one ancestor out. One ancestor, Apelapi, sitting in one corner. We will go and mumuishly bring an ancestor now to come and continue. Hey, it will be an NYAC. Now your suffering continues. That's what it will be. But I believe we will now shine our eyes, wash our legs, and ensure that this thing will not happen again. What thing you may ask? I said, well, I hope you get it.
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it. Man.
Don't get it, there is no way I can help you. I hope you get what I meant. To conclude here is on a human angle, I saw, and this is the reason why I want to talk about the last part of this, is that when we talk about our humanity, we are all one human family, irrespective of our race, tribe, and creed. This story is something that happened in Lagos, where the governor was driving. Many of you might quarrel with the motive, but I don't bloody care. If it was done for camera ops, who cares? All I care for is that lives eventually were touched. That the kids in question would never forget the governor. I think if the video is not playing in the way it was to play, what is going to happen is I would play the video in a different format. Bear with me just for one moment. Let me quickly. Yeah. So this is the clip here, right? Now, the story behind it is that the governor was driving, and he saw these two girls. I want you to pay attention when the governor asked them their names, what they said. That is the essence of why I want to play this. So your parents haven't paid. That's why you're not paid. Oh, you haven't paid. Hausa?
Where do you stay? Eh? Anthony. How can I get to your parents? Do you know their number? They are 9 years old, okay? Realize that I came in a bit late. That speaks to the reality of what we myself and the people. And that makes sense of whatever speech that has been given to me. But it affords me an opportunity to speak straight from my heart and to tell you a clear testimony of what happened this morning. So can I have a picture? So we're driving to this venue this morning. So this is the picture. This is me wearing a white shirt. Can I have a picture? So this is a classic of example of what people do. So this is the picture. This is the road that takes you from Anthony Village on to so I stopped. I stopped something that makes my heart.
So now the point I want to everyone the point I want to make with this the point I want to make with this video is the following. This is Lagos State. Many will say Lagos State is a Yoruba land. And here, randomly, the governor stopped because of two kids that ought to be in school, one 8, the other 12. One from Kano, the other from the southeast. One name, I think the other one is, if I recall, the name of the girl, the younger one is Chidima. You can know where Chidima comes from. But the thing there is, of course, I understand that the governor went ahead to use the example of why people should, if they cannot afford private schools, send at least their kids to government schools that are good. But the angle that touched me, that I want to bring to the fore, is the following. These were Nigerians. These were innocent girls. Anything could have happened to them. Poverty knows no color. Poverty knows no tribe. Poverty knows no race. The Nigerian system failed these two kids. It's very striking that none of them is from the southwest, or you could say none of them is Yoruba. Yet, the governor in question, it mattered not that this one is from northwest and one is from the southeast. It means, people, we can actually, as a people, without really hating on one another, work together to defeat that which holds us down. There is something that is holding us down that is nothing but bad governance. It's because of bad governance that the children that ought to be in school are selling stuff on the street or doing, going for such chores when they are supposed to be in school. These children could have fallen into the hands of human traffickers. Many of us, many of you watching me right now, you have children. Imagine you have an 8-year-old child in this time and age. In the day of school, that child is not in school. That child is just somewhere. The child could have become a victim of child trafficking. That child could have been abused. Anything could have happened to that child. Where has our humanity gone? Failure of government. Glad it was a governor who heads a state that sees this. It is a reflection. We no longer have to go and tell them, okay, this is failing. You are failing the people, or you guys are failing the people. No, you're looking at it now because it's staring you in the face. Like, 3D. It's there. It's there in your face. There is nothing you can do about it. Chidinma and Amina, I believe, they are the lucky ones today. But what of the unlucky ones? What of those that are kept as house helps and being abused? What of those that are with this madness ongoing called money ritual? What of those that have lost their life? We must fight every single day to bequeath a better society to our unborn generation, to the younger generation than we got them. It is indeed heartbreaking when I see something like this. People, I don't want to rant. I don't want, it's I don't know. I think it's one of those videos that when I saw it 2 days ago, it really melted my heart. Irrespective of the fact that there were some political, you know, some could argue that political points that they might want to use that to score, but who cares? At the end of the day, if you cut me open, cut a Yoruba man, cut an Hausa man, an Ibibio, a Gambian, a German, or whatever, one thing that is going to come out is same freaking blood. Then I wonder, why do we then hate ourselves? Sometimes to the point that you want to see the other person dead. And the hate is brewing. It keeps growing up. In these days that the political, what they call um, the political campaign time, or where a lot of argument is now going. You have a president that will be leaving, and everyone is now angling with the president, and you begin to read utter rubbish and utter nonsense from people. Then I ask, in all these things, where is our humanity? Now you read people saying, "Oh, why must it be Igbos? They have done this, they have done the other one." I say, why must you hate? What have they done to you? Why must you hate? Oh, the other one says, why must you go and talk to the other person? He is often manu, he is this. I say, why must you hate? Why must you? We can, as a people, close rank together, deal with our issue. Inequality, anything, if we have 6 things, if we have 6 items and we are 6 in numbers, it beats me silly that you should be eyeing mine, whereas it is obvious. You take yours, I take mine, everyone should be happy. But why would you keep yours and you're still wanting to take mine? It doesn't make sense. And not in a million years would I want to take yours if I have mine. So why would you want to take mine? People, on that note, I leave my sermon. On that note, I say to you all, thank you very much for being part of this Friday Hangout. As part of the State of the Nation series, join me on Sunday, 5 o'clock UK time, 6 o'clock Nigerian time. On this platform, I will be having a one-on-one conversation with Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa. He will be contesting for the presidential ticket under the PDP. Now, next week, I will be speaking to Malik, Prince Malik Ado Ibrahim from Kogi State. And the week after, I will be speaking with my own brother, Professor Kinsley Mogalo. The week after, I will be speaking with Dele Momodu, Chief Dele Momodu, the Chairman CEO of Ovations. The week after that, I will be speaking with Professor Femi Olufemilade. I have And I think in 2 weeks' time, actually, no, sorry, after this week, upper week, I might get Dr. Chris Mwabeze Ngige, former governor of Anambra State. It's all dependent on his confirmation, but if he confirms, it might be that we have to run 2 shows that day, speak with um, Malik and speak also with Dr. Chris Ngige. The whole essence here is that there is fire on the mountain. Nigeria is a crime scene. Nigeria is not working. Things are not working. Now, those who say they want to come and contest the presidency, it is then our job to ask them, what do you understand from, in our perception, from the way we have understood the problem we are facing? What is your own understanding? And can you tell us if at all 2023 ever comes, how are you going to deal with the issues? Starting with security, no one is safe. No one. Someone today was gunned down in Imo State. I heard the guy came from the diaspora to bury the grandmom. He was shot in the head, full of blood. His car, Mercedes GLE, taken away from him. Yesterday in Bono, scores of people died. In Zamfara, people died. In Edo, people died. I mean, anywhere you look, every single day is death, death, death. The question is, if they say they can fix it, we must ask them how. As they say, the test of pudding is in the eating. So tell us how. From the smell of the fat, you can have an idea how the real deal called and shit would taste. That is it. We try our best on this platform to help deepen the conversation. If the Lord tallies and if everything being equal, we might get to a point where we might begin to have like mini debates. Get 2, 3 people, bring them on. They say you want to contest presidency, bring APC, PDP, whatever. Put them on. Bring you watching me now, not only to send in your comment, but to be part of the panelists, to have and to be here and to ask those questions, those things that bother you. Because we must. If many of us have said, can we ensure that we strike down everything and go back to regional governance? And you said no. Ask us questions in form of referendum and to know what we want. You say no. What thing again we go do? We now have to drag you people in the altar of public to now say, come and speak to us and let us understand what you have in stock. And those of them that will run out, that will run away, those that run away, you see how it is because they didn't allow you to ask them questions, but to see how and where we have been since afterward. But we have to look for every single person. I'm even making contact with what's it called again? I've forgotten his name again. Yeah, I'll remember. Buba Galadima, the firebrand Buba Galadima. I believe if it's possible, I will have him as a guest in the Friday Hangout next week. So let us all collectively hang out as a people. Everyone, thank you very much for being part of this program this evening. Join me on Sunday, as I said, as we will be having that conversation with Amazi Sam Ohuabunwa, who is going to contest to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria under the banner of PDP. Last week, I had that conversation with my former governor of my own state, of Anambra State, in the person of Mr. Peter Obi. The video is still here. If you haven't watched it, I beckon on you to go back and watch that video. You may learn one or two things, because that was 1 hour 49 minutes conversation, non-stop, ideas shared. Every one of you who asked questions, your questions were taken, your questions were answered. Nothing was off table, and nothing on this platform is off the table. We explore the truth behind the headlines. I am still Mazi Ezoka, and I say good night, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Buongiorno. Cacifono. Make it be now as if say we no see. So that everybody will be happiness more. You know, I want everybody to be happiness more. Yeah, you want to happiness more? I want everybody to happiness more. Say good night.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more, isn't it? So then please, I want to beg them, we suffered almost 10 hours, we are standing because of what we want. We need change. And then the person we need, he's the one on the party we want.